How's it going, everybody? It's Soul, and with Act 3 of Wano supposedly reaching its conclusion, I think it's time for me to make this video on why I believe that Onigashima will actually fall on the Flower Capital. But before I do, go down and subscribe to the channel and like the video for more future content like this. Now, just a quick little disclaimer before everybody goes after my neck. This is not another the raid is gonna fail theory. It has nothing to do with that. I don't think that Onigashima dropping on the Flower Capital signifies that the raid has failed. Now, with that being said, the Wano arc from its structure alone is fundamentally different from any other arc in the series. Where most arcs have one clear antagonist that needs to go down, Wano has three: Big Mom, Orochi, and Kaido. Now, Kaido is obviously the main opponent that needs to be vanquished in the end, but as long as the other two are around, Wano can never truly be liberated, which is why many people theorize that Big Mom will leave the country for, whatever reason, and that leaves Orochi to be powerless and get what he deserves. So for the sake of this theory, let's just say that something happens to Big Mom and she has to leave Wano and go somewhere else. Now the question of who will beat Kaido remains. I think we all want Luffy to be the one to do it, but I think otherwise. Luffy won't beat Kaido, at least not alone. Kaido is built up to be the strongest creature in the world, so Luffy beating him in a 1v1 situation will lower the stakes of future arcs, knowing that Luffy could essentially beat anybody he wants. And as it is made clear to us by the development of chapter 113, Luffy can't beat Kaido alone, even when Kaido was holding some of his strength back. We all know that Oda likes to write Luffy in situations where it's almost impossible for us to think of a way where he's gonna come out on top, like Luffy versus Katakuri. Even though that was more based on Katakuri's character, Luffy did win in the end, and a lot of people think that the same is gonna happen with Kaido, where the narrator said nobody can beat him in a 1v1, but Luffy will overcome this. Now, Luffy will still fight Kaido in the end, but this saying where Luffy will win in a 1v1 is already kind of debunked, because Kaido has already fought numerous individuals and received so much damage that you can't even confidently say that Luffy beat Kaido straight up in a 1v1 anymore. Oda has said on numerous occasions that Wano has been an arc he's wanted to draw for a very long time, but I think it also has to do with all the ideas and plot points he has in his mind. I think Wano is an arc that will subvert expectations, where we think the good guy is gonna win in the end and save all the people, but I don't think that will necessarily be the case. Now, I'm not saying that the raid will fail, but I think that Luffy will actually fail to save the people. Now, the last we see of Luffy in chapter 113 is him falling off of Onigashima. Many people believe that he will be saved and make it back onto the island. However, what if he fell onto the land of Wano instead? As the situation stands, the only person that will be able to save Luffy from falling is Momonosuke, who is the only one that is able to feel his presence in state. However, even that is unlikely, as Momo cannot put himself in danger or even control when he wants to fly yet, which is why I find it kind of absurd that people think he'll be able to lift the entire island of Onigashima and save the country like that. Next, people think that Luffy will fly back using Gear 4th. This will not happen either. As stated by chapter 112, Luffy was fighting Kaido by himself for at least half an hour. I find it extremely unlikely that he didn't use Gear 4th during all that time. So with nobody left to save him, Luffy will either fall onto the land of Wano itself or into the water, where he'll be saved by Lost Crew and put onto shore. What will happen to the story now, you ask? Well, with nobody to really stop Kaido, Onigashima will fall upon the Flower Capital, where Luffy must now rush to, and where the final battle will take place. Now you're probably wondering, but won't the citizens die, Soul? Yes, they will, but only the ones within the Flower Capital. When in a major arc such as this have the citizens not died is the real question. In fact, they always play some sort of significant active role rather than just sit around as bystanders. Take the rebels in Alabasta, or the citizens pushing the birdcage in Dressrosa, for example. Now, I'm not sure how the Wano citizens will help exactly. For all we know, they could just help cheer on Luffy fighting Kaido, but I'm sure they'll play some sort of active role in the future. Furthermore, the whole story of Wano is separated into different segments, which are the acts, and following traditional Japanese kabuki theater, There should be 5 in total. Following that assumption, the third act, which is the one we're currently on, always ends in some form of tragedy. Now, let's say hypothetically that Onigashima does fall onto the capital and kill the people. Would this not be the biggest tragedy of all, Luffy failing to protect Wano's people? This would ultimately raise the stakes, the tension, and the emotion of the arc exponentially and make Luffy's final encounter with Kaido in the Flower Capital that much more climactic and epic. Now, whether Luffy will fight Kaido alone or not is yet to be seen, but if you're a believer of Zoro killing Kaido or ZKK, you'll also like this situation, as it will be a direct parallel to Ryuma's tale of how he slayed a dragon looming over the capital of the country, which really gives this whole thing even more credence. However, the thing that convinces me the most about this whole situation even happening in the first place is that Wano needs reformation. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, essentially what I'm saying is that Wano is stuck in the time period of the olden days. So, make no mistake that the people of Wano are not good people. They are eager to watch someone be boiled alive or executed. They are quick to ridicule others, resort to violence when they fear things they don't understand, and even commit mass genocide for the actions of someone else. The people of Wano quite literally are responsible for the creation of Orochi and this whole predicament that they found themselves in the first place. They had no reason to go to such extreme means and lengths for the crime that Orochi's grandfather committed, so you can't even blame the Kurozumi for feeling the way they feel against the injustice that they had to suffer through. As such, not only does Wano need to be liberated, but it also needs to change. In modern Wano, we can see that this discrimination still exists to anyone that doesn't live in the capital. If somebody has less, of anything really, they look down upon them, much like the Goa kingdom where Luffy comes from. Most of the citizens there are blinded by greed and power and belittle anybody that doesn't have what they have. Now, what does this mean? Well, Wano, or more specifically the people of the capital, are corrupt. Now, here are 2 things that can happen. Number 1, Onigashima drops on the capital and kills the corrupted people, and obviously it'll kill some innocent people too, but it leaves the rest of the populace who face discrimination and neglect like the Kurozumi to live on. As they share the same pain as them, they will not repeat the same mistakes that they have. Number 2, the people of the capital see Onigashima and flee the area and survive. However, Onigashima still drops and destroys their homes, forcing them to live on equal standing with those of lower status. Now, personally, I'm more inclined to go to the first option because not only do I think it's more likely, but it's also better for the story as a whole. Not only will the citizens dying be a real tragedy, but it's also thematically relevant as well. We need to remember that the Fire Festival isn't just some random festival where people celebrate once a year and have whatever they want. It's a festival to mourn the dead, making it all the more fitting that this situation could well in fact play out. Remember that, as Toki's prophecy foretold, a new dawn will come upon Wano, but a new dawn is also a new beginning. The country will not continue on like it always has from decades on end. It will change, and the people with it. So that is all for this theory video. If you like the video, go down and drop a like for me, subscribe to the channel for more future content like this, and as always, I will see you all very, very soon.